Hi, I'm Richard Griot, and I welcome you back to Griot's Garage. We're going to talk about the update on the 1991 Range Rover Classic. And what I love about this car, I think I covered in quite some detail, but what we have done is totally modified the interior now. And then I'll walk you through maybe some other little things that we've done. Actually, upgrading the wheel and tire package. If you don't want to widen the steel wheels that normally come on a Range Rover Classic, you can go out and get a Defender rim. These are aftermarket rims. They're not going to bankrupt you. I think I got all 4 of these for around $800 delivered. And then I put on the Pirelli Scorpions in a 235/70R16. Really updated the handling of it. We have not done any suspension work. That's the next thing. And then we'll talk about what to do under the hood, because I know you guys, from the last time I said we were going to dump in a LS7, we'll open up the hood later. All right, so just, you know, I love the industrial design of this car. There's something really pleasing about this. You have just a huge window to look out over your shoulder, right or left. I have put my dad in this car. I put anybody that has walked through the shop in this car. They would all love to have this car. It's still the development mule before we do another one. And I think we've done a great job of still respecting a lot of the Range Rover characteristics, but then taking the interior into the modern age of having some really nice leather and carpet, and getting away from the cheesy 70 shag carpet. And again, no hate mail here, because there's plenty of Rovers. I have a few other Rovers that I would take off-road and totally beat the hell out of. Not this car in particular, because it's such a fine piece of originality, low mile. So anyway, actually keep the comments going. It's what, you know, makes this whole thing exciting. So let's now go inside, and I'll show you what we've done. So let's first start with the back. You know, I love making things practical. I don't have a lot of friends that I want to show off this car with, so I took the back seat out. So it's just me and my sweetheart. We can go to any winery around the country and just fill it up here. We can bring back, I estimate now, at least 14 cases of wine, which will last about 3 weeks in my household. What I did do is take out the spare tire. No one really needs a spare tire anymore. I know, just like let's put all the rock crawling aside, and that's not what this vehicle is for. Again, I have a really crappy Range Rover that I would that's all rusted out, that I would take and try to roll it over. But in this case, this was really just an upstated, great driving environment of what we try to produce here. So we took out the rear seat. This is actually carpet from a early 70s, 911. I call it dachshund fur. People, call it a variety of certain things, but it's like petting a dachshund when you're, driving. And so we put in, and we took out the spare tire. So now that opened up these 2 areas back here. On here we have a little area that folds back down for the toolkit. And what I would put in there, since there is no spare, is a tire inflator and a plug that we sell at Griot's Garage. That was a plug, no pun intended. And you got to ask yourself, when was the last time you had a flat tire? And which is, I'll probably have one this afternoon, but at least I'll be prepared with a plug kit and an air compressor, and that normally gets me on the road back within 20 minutes. So it's a lot quicker plugging a tire and inflating it and getting it to a place where you can properly fix it. And then we have this, I don't know, what is that? That's about a 9 or 10-inch subwoofer back here. The dog loves it. You know, we you know, put the dog back in here, and that's why you'll see there could be some dander here. And then to keep the wine and everything, the luggage, from actually hitting the driver, that would be me in the back. We have this little luggage bar right there that we welded up, and we just so happen to put the Range Rover logo in the back. So this is all really highly usable. You get just a huge volume of space back here, and it, you know, having the tailgate still allows you to, you know, sit in the back, you know, nice road tour and have your cheese and crackers. So let's go to the front, all right? Show you what we did around the driver. All right, well, I love the Range Rover interiors, but, you know, they're just a little, shall I say, mid-70s. And so, you know, there's all sorts of smells that get wrapped up in the shag carpeting and a few other things. But we decided really to focus on the ergonomics here. And as you know, the earlier Rovers, I mean, they didn't have, you know, they didn't have any cup holders. Well, you know, people do like to drink, if, you know, especially on a 4-hour ride in a diesel that gets 28 miles to the gallon. You're going to be on the road for a while until your tank goes dry. So anyway, we also lowered the seat height 2 inches to make it a little easier to get in and out of. That actually brought your you know, field of vision down. Instead of, you know, close to the ceiling, it's now down here. So we modified the you know, the not the bracketry, but what the bracketry sits on is a little elevated you know, piece of triangular metal down there. So we lowered that by 2 inches. Also, you know, did a few other things. So let me just get in, just show you how easy it is to slip in. Alrighty. And notice just, you know, the whole driving position here now. So this whole center console is new. Since you didn't have any you know, cup holders, they were selling these kind of lame cup holders that snap into here. Well, they hit your leg and stuff. And I'm a big ergonomic freak. And yes, they did have this junk drawer in here that you couldn't really see. So there used to be a radio here. And then, you know, when you would flip this over, they have these two laughable little indents on the back side of the little cubby. And so we just rearranged all that, but, you know, kept everything, you know, the same for your diff lock and your 5-speed transmission. We did take the old, you know, leather wrapped shift knob. It doesn't feel that great on your hand. These are actually out of aluminum. This one had a flaw in it the first time around. I don't know how it's made inside, but it was like vibrating inside there, if that's possible. So we anodized these two items in black. They really feel good on your hands now. This steering wheel was $60 on eBay. I bought 4 of them because I thought, shoot, if I do this again, I can just go to the steering wheel rack. So you might find the stock a little depleted, but it's leather wrapped. I think it comes out of Croatia or somewhere over there. And then we had this specialized horn button made. So now we totally reconfigured the whole, you know, driving experience. As you know, that they are trying to get the nav systems up and in your line of sight these days. You'll see, you know, Mercedes and BMW, they all have it here, so you're not like fumbling down here and, you know, 300 feet go by, and then all of a sudden you're plowing through a Prius that is trying to help the environment. With this diesel, we're actually going the other way. So you really don't want to take a Prius out because it's kind of like a neutral, you know, he's driving the Prius, we're blowing diesel fuel out the back pipe and fogging the area for mosquitoes. So don't take out any Priuses. So we're, you know, we're trying to make this great environment in here and bring it up to date. So I'll just turn on the ignition here and slip the little iPhone right into the saddle. So that's pretty easy to do. And hopefully it's not going to be blaring out. So what this does now is it brings up all of your CarPlay. So you have your you have your maps, and you have your little Siri button here. And oh, there's a little Queen. What do you know? Used to play that for my kids going to school all the time. They would have a when they were cranky, I just turned that up really loud. I wouldn't even hear them. They'd be in the back seat rocking out to Queen. So there's the nav. It's got a little home button. You go back. I can actually went over to the FM channel. It's now got a message on my phone. So installing the little speaker there. And we don't quite have the backup camera worked out, but right now, for some reason, it comes on with a light switch. But so you have a backup camera with this as well. So we're figuring that out. So it's all just fully integrated here. We did put a little 2 USB ports that you can't see in here. So this is all reprofiled. So it has a nice little cubby. We did keep the cubby over here. In the original Range Rovers, the radio was over here, I believe. So now, shoot, we got the seat heat on. No wonder I'm sweating. Anyway, we do have seat heat installed now. They work really well because I'm like sweating. But we did keep the little cubby over here for your sunglasses. Here's a garage door opener. This is the trick thing, is getting these two cup holders now fit. So you got your water bottle, little saddle for charging your phone, and we repositioned the window switches from here, so you can actually see them now. They're right in the center console. So which left us a few other things for driving lights and fog lights and the fader front to rear. Yeah, door panels. So we took this out of a BMW, I believe. I think it's an E9, and then grafted that onto the door so it's easy to get in and out. We have our little tweeter here. Your big 6-inch coax in the bottom of the door. So this is really a great sounding stereo now. So as we're coming back from all the wineries, the wine is getting that the bottle shock out of it with the deep bass, and actually you can turn around and pet the cases of wine as you're driving back. So that was important, and also added one little large cubby here. We still have the manuals under there. This still says, I don't know, I don't read Portuguese, but it does say transfer something SIA, which probably means transfer case. And I think it says slow down in Portuguese before you ram it into low. So I think that covers everything with the interior. You're probably trying to figure out why this looks the way it does. And what we did was we took a mold off of this, we scaled it down, and we kind of went for the same side profile as this, and that's where the old pencil holder used to go. We didn't change anything on the dash here, so you can actually take that out if you want, and then put back that rubberized pencil holder, which is good for absolutely nothing. So I absolutely love this driving position. I love the steering wheel. If you guys get really crazy, I can tell you, who makes them in Croatia. He's probably down on the ocean there somewhere, overlooking, the Mediterranean, having a nice day, which we're just making videos here. I did put a proper dead pedal in. It did come with one, but we modified it because for long driving trips, I normally start with a dead pedal as if I was pushing down on the gas, probably 1/3 to 1/2, and that's where I start. So both of my legs are really comfortable, and we vinyl dyed these. They were white, and then we now have a black headliner. So that's about all. And we got some cool Mercedes leather. It's a little perforated in a different pattern, and I'm really happy with the way this came out. It's just it suits all my daily driver needs to be connected with my phone and drive and not run over any Priuses, because remember, they have to offset what you're doing out of your back tailpipe. So now that we've covered all the modifications that we've done in here, let's now go to everybody's favorite internet topic, the LS7, and see if it will fit under the hood. All right, so let's see what's under the hood. So right now, what you see is this ultra clean, literally perfect. This is actually a 90,000 kilometer car that I got out of Portugal. If you guys saw the very first video of when it came off of the trailer, it was really fun. Just opening a trailer from Portugal. It's kind of like a big Santa surprise, right? And just hooking up the batteries, and boom, the thing lit off, and we just drove it right off into the shop. So when we pop the hood, we go, oh, wait a minute, that's kind of a tiny motor, and it's actually a 2.5 liter VM, direct injected turbo diesel. So it was made in Italy at the time, and I know in the Range Rover world, VM probably stands for very mediocre. So I'm hearing all these horror stories about it. I haven't had one issue with it. I've already put 2,000 kilometers on this car, just joyriding it around the parking lot. So everything is just ultra clean, ultra perfect about this. But you know what? I keep thinking we had so much positive response from you guys wanting to see what an LS7 would look like under here. That it got me thinking, well, why stop at an LS7? The LS7 is that 500 horsepower dry sump, out of GM. I think they put it in Corvettes and a few other things. So, but why stop at 500, right? We could go at least 1,000. I'm just kidding. But so there's obviously people that are doing the LS3s now. A great engine. Obviously, it's a derivative of the old 3.5 Buick, which everybody loves, that got bumped all the way out to 4.2, I think, at the end of its life, and then went to 4.6. There's probably some people that are boring it out even more than that. This is a great engine, though. It really delivers the fuel mileage. Like I said, 28 miles to the gallon. We drove it on a small day trip the other day, put about 600 kilometers, and it just returns the gas mileage. So the LS7, I don't think is a good choice for this particular thing, but probably the LS3 is. But we'll see if we can't blow this up and over time and prove that the VM isn't very mediocre, but it's actually very macho. Sorry, that's 80s terms, Anyway. Okay, so until next time, this is Richard Griot, having fun in my garage. I hope you have fun in your garage too.